Samsung makes great phones, but it doesn't always listen to what customers want. I've been testing the new Galaxy S10 Plus, and it seems like this time Samsung's been paying attention. There's a lot here that shows that Samsung's finally listening to what consumers are looking for. Samsung's new Galaxy S10 family is the company's attempt to take on Apple's latest iPhones, and it's a good one. I tested the Galaxy S10 Plus, which is the $999 model that sits at the high end of Samsung's new Galaxy S10 family. It has the nicest screen Samsung has ever launched, with just a tiny cutout for the camera, and it's brighter and sharper than you'd find on any iPhone. It's also really premium with a metal and glass body that looks really high-end, and has great battery life that lasted me more than a day. It has excellent cameras with new features for portrait selfies and a wide-angle lens on the back that lets you fit more into a picture, which worked great when I wanted to photograph a mountain in Vermont over the weekend. Samsung phones have had great cameras and screens in the past, but they were held back by software that often felt clunky and slow. Samsung changed that this year and made other tweaks that show it's finally listening to what consumers want. Here's what you need to know. Samsung's Galaxy S10 phones run a new version of its software overlay for Android, which is called One UI. It's much cleaner and easier to use instead of feeling clunky like the software on Samsung's older phones. This makes it much easier for people who are coming from an iPhone to a Samsung phone, since it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for, like app settings. But there's still some junk. I don't like Samsung's theme store, which popped up when I tried to change the background and tries to sell ugly themes and wallpapers. Who's buying wallpapers anyway? There are also still way too many duplicate apps, which can confuse people. There's Chrome, but also Samsung's internet browser, a gallery, but also Google Photos. Samsung should just use Google's superior software. It's already made. The hard work is done. Samsung's AI is called Bixby, and it's still nowhere near as good as the Android default, Google Assistant, or even Apple's Siri.
I couldn't find any basketball games by Villanova Wildcats men's basketball in Englewood, Queens, New Jersey.
What even is Bixby?
Who's she? Who's Bixby?
Who's Bixby? But thankfully, Samsung's bringing a feature that lets you remap the Bixby button so you can use Google Assistant, which is way better. My review unit didn't have the option to remap Bixby yet, but it should be out for everyone by the time the phone launches. Samsung's previous phones had a fingerprint reader that sat way too close to the camera, which meant people would inadvertently smudge the camera when they were trying to unlock their phone. Now, the fingerprint reader is hidden underneath the display, and it works great. I still prefer Apple Face ID because it's so fast, but this is a good alternative. Samsung is smart to keep a few features that you can't get on the iPhone. That includes a regular headphone jack and an option to add more storage, which means you can save even more photos and videos without having to pay too much up front when you purchase the phone. You could technically store up to 2 terabytes of data on this phone. Samsung will sell a 1 terabyte model, and there's a new 1 terabyte micro SD card that you can buy to double that. I also love the new wireless power share feature, which lets you use your Galaxy S10 battery to charge another device. It slowly added some juice to my iPhone, but works better for smaller gadgets, like charging Samsung's new Galaxy Buds. The data shows that most people aren't willing to spend $1,000 on a new phone. In fact, Apple and Samsung shipments are down. But if you have a Galaxy S6 or older and want a new Samsung phone, this is worth the price. If you have an iPhone, I think you'll be happier staying with an Apple product. And you should probably buy the iPhone XR. If you want a cheaper version of the Galaxy S10, get the Galaxy S10e, which starts at $749, but sacrifices some features like the in-screen fingerprint reader and advanced cameras. But if you're willing to spend $1,000, the Galaxy S10 is a really good phone.